Hey career changers. Okay, let's get right into the video. I am going to talk about resume math. Resume math. So, this is a pretty controversial topic. I didn't expect this, but that's good because that means that there's lots to discuss. So, what do I mean by resume math? I mean adding numbers to your resume. A resume has numbers, it has words, it might have some symbols, some people even add pictures, but that's what I mean by resume math. And apparently, some people don't put any numbers on their resume, and they even think that there are no numbers to put. They think, oh, I don't have any numbers, I'm not going to do the math. So, this is the controversial part because there are some people who feel very strongly about numbers. They show impact, you have to have numbers, and other people are basically saying, I don't have numbers, I have no numbers to add, don't talk to me about resume math. So I love when there's a little controversy because we can dig in and I can help to clarify some things. So, okay, resume math. First, let me talk about what it actually is. So, yes, it is adding numbers to your resume, any kind of numbers. Now, many of you know I used to be a journalist, and journalists, for any topic, we like to talk about the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, why, and we add how, which is an H, I know. So, what is resume math? It's when you add numbers to your resume, any sort of quantifiable statistic or piece of data. Now, who would do that? You, as the job seeker, as the career changer. And who are the numbers for? A second who. The numbers are not for you. Who are they for? They are for the person reading the resume. And there are two types of readers of a resume. There is the machine, of course, the mosquitoes, sorry, the ATS system, the electronic system that is screening, and then there is the human that is going to read your resume. Maybe I can kill the mosquito. The human who is going to read your resume. So that's who the numbers are for. You find the numbers, but the who they're for is for the reader. Now, why are numbers important? This is where people really dig into their respective camps. Resume math is important. Why numbers are important? It's for several reasons. I used to be a hiring manager, and I loved to see numbers, even if someone didn't have a sales role, because numbers, first of all, they help tell a story that is more specific and crisp and detailed. So if you say, I was a manager versus I was a manager of 15, see how that number 15 makes a difference? It then automatically puts a picture in my mind. Oh, wow, you supervised 15 people. What was that like? What did you have to do? When I was a journalist, I used to always ask people their age, which is a number. And people would say, why do you need my number? And I would say, well, if I give a quote and someone says, said Bob 22, said Bob 8. There's a difference if you're age 8 versus age 22. I take that quote differently. So in the same way, there's a difference when you say, I manage a team of 15 versus I manage a team. So why numbers are important is that they help to give a clearer, more detailed picture, and then I believe you. Then I want to know more about you because I go, ooh, a team of 15, tell me more about that. So that's one reason why numbers matter. Because let me go deeper on that part because it's really important. I don't work where you worked. I didn't work where you worked. I have no idea what your job is like. None, right? I wasn't there. So the more that you can just fill in and describe your workplace, that gives me a picture of what you can handle. So I'm saying, oh, if they supervised, wait for the motorcycle, several motorcycles, if they supervised a team of 15, then maybe they can handle this team of 30. So it paints a picture of your workplace which then helps to demystify things for the hiring manager so that they understand your workplace better, and then they can start to picture you in their workplace given what they know about your previous workplace. See, because the name of a company is not enough, right? Even if you worked at Google, I worked at Google, Facebook. Okay, great. What was your team like? What was your day-to-day like? Explain that to me. I wasn't there. I didn't work with you, right? So when you include some numbers in there, it then helps to fill that out and helps to demystify your work experience. And if I can understand what you did, then you're less of a threat, less of a risk for me to hire you because I feel like I know you. See, all of that from literally just including a 15-person team or a 25-person team across 6 time zones. It really helps to paint a picture for the hiring manager who was not there in your office and has no idea what you did. So that's one reason why numbers are important. Okay, a second reason why resume math is important is that some people like numbers. They just like to read numbers. They like numbers. Maybe you don't, but the person reading the resume does. And guess what? The resume is not for you. It's for the person reading it. You know, it's like a chef who maybe has an idea of the dishes that he wants to make, but if he makes the dish and he likes it, but all the people who eat it keep sending it back, should the chef keep making that dish? No. So sometimes you are sending out your resume and not hearing back. Maybe people want to see more numbers because they like numbers. That's all. They just like numbers and they want to see them. So why not play to the audience that you're trying to court? Because again, you want someone to read your resume and then get hired. So if they like numbers, and I guarantee you there are people out there who like numbers, why not put numbers on your resume? Simple, okay? That's the second reason. The third reason why numbers are important, and this is all under why. We talked about what resume math was, and now we're saying why resume math matters, okay? Why is it important? It's important because it does show how you being in the job made a difference. Let me explain that. I could use a word like how you had an impact. And this is where people freak out because they're like, I didn't have an impact. What do you mean? I don't have any numbers. Like as if they're almost afraid to claim having had impact. If that's too much for you, I know. We will do this in stages, okay? I get it. It's not easy. Take this in. If you take a rock and throw a rock in a lake, right? Doesn't it make a splash? It causes the water to move? Yes. So think about it this way. Did you go to work and show up and nothing happened and then you went home? For some people, that is the case, right? But for a lot of you, especially professionals with years of experience and lots of different jobs and all of these skills, that's not the case. You went to work, you did things changed because you worked there. Things changed because you had ideas. Things changed because you made suggestions. Things changed because you did things, either by yourself or with a team or working with other people. And so the question is really, what changed? What changed? Were there more customers who were happy? Did you save some money? Did you save some time? Did you find a new way of doing things? Did you bring in a lot more money? Something changed. And when you don't have any numbers on your resume that show what changed, it's almost like you're saying, I did this job, but nothing happened. I showed up, I did these tasks, and then I went home, but nothing changed. And so me being in the job wasn't special. Me being in the job didn't make a difference. And you know what? People want to hire people who are special. They want to hire people who are actually going to do something and make a change. And so when you include numbers on your resume, then you're showing how you make a change. And when you don't have numbers, it's like you're almost saying, I don't make changes. When I show up to a job, nothing happens. Everything stays the same. I know that's not true. I know that's not true. So that's why, your third reason why it's important to include numbers, because you being in your job makes a difference. So why not describe how? Okay, you might be getting to that point where you're like, okay, Theola, sounds good. How do I do this? How do I do this, right? Well, I am going to save that for a separate video. Why? Because people really are in their feelings about resume math. They're like, they don't want to believe that it's relevant, that it's necessary, and they have to be convinced to even do it. So it's a lot. Let's do this step by step. Let's do this step by step. First step is what it is. And then second step is why resume math matters. Why resume math matters. And we talked about the fact that it shows that you made a difference somewhere, and that it shows that, what did I say? I just forgot. Oh my gosh. Well, we can rewind back to the video for the first two reasons, because I just felt this in my spirit and I came on to do this. I did not have any notes, but I did talk about the first two reasons why resume math matters. Essentially, it is very specific, so it shows your unique skills, and then I believe you, and then I want to hire you. And then there's that second reason. You know, I am a middle child. I should know better than to forget the middle reason. But here we go. Okay. If I haven't convinced you yet why resume math matters, I want to take on your resistance. And then I will end this video. And then the second video, I'll talk about how to get numbers. And I promise I will bring some notes for that. Okay. The resistance around resume math. A lot of times the resistance is things like, my numbers aren't good enough. You may not say that, but it's sort of hidden in the back of your mind. Or it's that I don't have access to the numbers. People who were in higher positions had those numbers. I didn't. Or I was just this lowly person. You know, I worked in IT, and I don't have any numbers. It's all this different variation of I'm not enough. I'm not enough. How I showed up at work, what I did, my numbers that you claim that I have, I don't have them. I'm not enough. I'm here to tell you that is a lie. You are enough, and you do have numbers. And the numbers that you have are your numbers, and they are good enough. They are valid. Because I will leave you with this one number that you can think about as you get ready for part 2 on resume math. How do you find your numbers? A number that you can always claim very easily, and everybody has this number. It's like your age. Like everybody, it basically is the same concept as your age. Whatever your age is, that is how many days on earth you have been alive, right? And so when you think about numbers on your resume, one number that you can always claim is volume. Volume. How many of something? How many of something? So if you worked in a call center, how many calls a day did you take? If you're an ER doctor, how many patients would you see in a shift? If you're a journalist, how many emails did you have to sift through in a day? How many stories have you written roughly? How many people have you talked to in a day? As you know, I have thought a lot about that. If you are a teacher, how many hours have you been teaching live per week or per day? If you are some kind of financial analyst, how many spreadsheets have you reviewed? How many applications have you edited? Volume, volume, volume. Why? Because volume equals expertise. Volume equals expertise. If you work in IT and you answered 75 help desk calls a day, guess what? I believe you're competent to answer people's questions because you answered 75 help desk questions a day. That's the way these things work, okay? So I'm going to end this here because I think I have to catch my bus. I might have even missed it. So I will see you in part 2 of the video, resume math, how we get our numbers, how we get our numbers. All right, talk to you soon. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Bye.